My name is Rachel Morgan. 2 years ago, my husband walked into our kitchen, took off his wedding ring, and told me he was leaving. Not for another woman. For his boss. The woman who earned more money than both of us combined. The woman he called the opportunity of a lifetime. As he packed his bags, he looked at me and said something I'll never forget. You'll understand when you see how far I'm about to go. I did see how far he went. 6 months later, he was unemployed, living in a motel, and begging me to answer his calls. Because his boss had fired him. And then she called me herself. What she told me changed everything. When I met Daniel, he was funny, ambitious, and kind. At least that's what I thought. We built a life together in Charlotte, North Carolina. Nothing extravagant. Just a comfortable middle-class life. Nice home. A golden retriever. Weekend barbecues. The kind of life most people dream about. For 8 years I believed we were happy. Then Daniel got promoted. And everything changed. His new boss was Victoria Hayes. A powerful executive in her early 40s. Smart. Successful. Confident. Daniel talked about her constantly. First I was proud of him. Then I became concerned. Every conversation somehow turned into Victoria. Victoria thinks I'm leadership material. Victoria says I have executive potential. Victoria wants me involved in strategic meetings. Soon he was working late almost every night. Business trips increased. Weekend meetings appeared out of nowhere. I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know how wrong. One Friday evening, Daniel came home unusually cheerful. Almost excited. That's when he told me. He was leaving. For Victoria. He claimed they were in love. He claimed she understood him. He claimed I had become ordinary. Ordinary. After 8 years of marriage. Felt physically sick. But the worst part wasn't him leaving. It was how confident he seemed. Like he'd won. Like I should be grateful he was being honest. He moved out the next morning. The divorce was ugly. Daniel wanted everything. The house. The savings. Even shared investments. He believed his future with Victoria would make him wealthy. My lawyer disagreed. Thankfully, so did the judge. When everything was finalized, I focused on rebuilding. I started therapy. Spent time with friends. Learned how to be alone again. It wasn't easy. But slowly I healed. Then something unexpected happened. Daniel started appearing everywhere online. Social media was full of photos. Luxury vacations. Private events. Executive parties. Designer clothes. Victoria and Daniel looked perfect. My friends kept sending screenshots. I stopped looking. Because comparison is a dangerous thing when you're trying to recover. Then one day the photos disappeared. All of them. Every single one. I thought it was strange. But I didn't think much about it. Until the phone calls started. At first, Daniel texted. Then called. Then emailed. Then called from different numbers. I ignored everything. For months. Then one message caught my attention. Rachel, please. You don't know what really happened. I deleted it. A week later, another arrived. I'm sorry. Then another. And another. The man who once acted untouchable suddenly sounded desperate. I still didn't respond. Then my phone rang one Tuesday afternoon. The caller ID stopped me cold. Victoria Hayes. I almost didn't answer. But curiosity won. Her voice sounded completely different from what I expected. Not confident. Not powerful. Exhausted. The first thing she said was, I owe you an apology. I sat there speechless. Then she told me the truth. Daniel had lied to both of us. About everything. He told Victoria our marriage was already over when their relationship started. He claimed we were separated. He claimed I had cheated. He claimed he was trapped. None of it was true. Victoria didn't learn the truth until months later. And when she did, everything exploded. Victoria launched an internal investigation. What she discovered was even worse. Daniel had been using company resources for personal gain. Manipulating reports. Taking credit for other employees' work. misrepresenting performance results. The man who claimed he was destined for greatness had built his career on lies. The company terminated him immediately. Victoria ended the relationship the same day. And because most of his lifestyle depended on that job, everything collapsed. A few weeks later, I saw Daniel for the first time since the divorce. He looked older, tired, defeated. Gone was the arrogance. Gone was the confidence. Gone was the man who thought he had found a shortcut to success. He asked if we could talk. So I listened. For 10 minutes. He apologized, cried, blamed stress, blamed ambition, blamed mistakes. Eventually he asked the question I knew was coming. Could we start over? I almost laughed. The answer was no. Not because I hated him. Because I finally respected myself. The woman sitting across from him wasn't the same woman he left behind. I had rebuilt my life, my confidence, my future, without him. And that's when I realized something important. The greatest revenge isn't making someone regret losing you. It's reaching a point where their regret no longer matters. Plug. A year later, I received another call from Victoria. This time it was good news. She offered me a consulting opportunity with her company. Apparently she'd been impressed by how I handled everything. That opportunity became the biggest career breakthrough of my life. The woman my husband left me for ended up helping me build a better future than he ever could. Funny how life works. If someone ever underestimated your value, comment his loss below. And remember, people who chase shortcuts often lose everything. But people who rebuild themselves become impossible to replace.